One of the massive things we were looking forward to tonight was the contract signing of Ricky Starks. Now, obviously, Ricky was in the ring, cut a really good promo. He's really good on the microphone, and he would be interrupted by Ethan Page. Playing off their history with one another, Ethan Page would mock Ricky, saying, hey, you know, you're playing off the playbook of Ethan Page, etc. Ricky would bring up that Javon Evans will come around again, and he come around very quickly, attacking All Ego through the audience. The referees were super quick with that one, but of course, Wesley would then be out next. Now, this makes sense because just before, in a backstage segment, Sarah would walk away from Wesley to speak to Ricky. We found out next week Ricky Starks will make his in-ring debut under his new ring name, which we'll get to in a minute. He will be teaming with Javon Evans in a tag team match against Ethan Page and Wesley. I'm looking forward to that. Again, I've always liked Ricky Starks. I've just not seen enough of him, so I'm really interested to see what he does now in NXT. But from here on out, we must call him his new WWE name, Ricky Saints. A very cool way to reveal this, I thought, by just using the contract and not actually having it said during the moment. But what do you think of the new name? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've seen a lot of social media saying they like it, a lot of social media saying they hate it. I think it's something we'll get used to very quickly. This is things you might have missed from WWE NXT. Make sure you hit the like button, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. It's happening! The Hardy Boyz are coming to NXT next week. Tonight on the show, they were challenged by No Quarter Catch Crew. Via Matt Hardy's Twitter, the TNA Tag Team Champions would respond very quickly and accept the challenge. The Hardys are coming back next week. Now, obviously, you can watch them every Thursday night on TNA, but obviously this is big. This feels like we could be one step towards that Hall of Fame induction of the Hardy Boyz. Maybe even a WWE 2K25 DLC appearance. Maybe. The Hardys would also mention Fraxium and tell Axiom and Nathan Frazier to pull up a seat to watch their match next week. So, obviously, potentially seeds there for Fraxium versus the Hardy Boyz also. It's not very often you see a look of pure shock on the face of the NXT champion, the unconquerable Oba Femi. But that is what we got tonight when Moose would debut on NXT. The TNA X Division champion arrived tonight confronting Oba Femi, saying that Oba, he cannot conquer Moose. He cannot rule over Moose. Moose is someone that you see so many people asking to appear in NXT. Well, it's finally happened, and it looks like we're going to be setting up Oba Femi and Moose for the NXT Championship. Now, that sounds interesting to me. I think a lot of people would look at that and think that's a match that they've booked in their heads many times. We also found out that Lexis King is going to get a big match next week to take on Moose for the TNA X Division Championship. So, multiple appearances in NXT by Moose. That's really cool. Moose had tweeted about 5 minutes before the start of NXT, just simply saying you only get one chance to make a memorable first impression. So many people had predicted this to happen just prior to the show. So maybe it felt a little bit spoilt for you had you seen that. But were you happy to see Moose arrive in NXT? Let me know in the comment section down below. While not directly related to NXT, today Triple H did reveal 2 new championship titles, a men's and a women's WWE ID championship belt. I've seen a lot of confusion about this. Obviously, this is nothing to do with Evolve. A lot of people thinking this is a belt for Evolve. It's not. ID are the independent superstars that WWE signed to a small contract, follow their career, potentially sign them in the future. These belts will actually be decided in a tournament that will take place across independent shows. A first look at Kelani Jordan in WWE 2K25 today on NXT. They did a really cool transition from the game to the real life footage as Kelani would make her entrance for a triple threat match against Karmen Petrovic and Jaida Parker. This was our first match of tonight, and the winner of this match would then be the #1 contender for the Women's North American Championship. Karmen Petrovic would pick up the win tonight. We found out the match with Stephanie would happen next week on NXT, but the story of the match was Ashante, Carmen's new boyfriend, pulling her out of the ring and then throwing her back in to take advantage and win the match. No time to celebrate though, because Fatal Influence would attack Carmen with Ashante just watching on. They would lay Ashante out with a steel chair. No officials, no security, no Ava. In fact, it took Stephanie Vacure like 3.5 minutes to come down to the ring, and when she did, she was joined by Julia. They got beaten up and had to be saved by the latest NXT signee, Jordynne Grace. Is Jordan even the latest signee anymore? I'm sure she's the latest to appear, but surely that's Ricky Starks now, isn't it? Nonetheless, though, Jordan would take to the microphone saying that she's joined NXT to be part of the best women's division in the world and how she wants a 6-woman tag match tonight. And that match would main event NXT this week. Julia, Stephanie and Jordynne Grace standing tall with a victory. But that is the look of someone who wants championship gold. Jordynne Grace in the middle of both champions. She's got to be going after Julia, hasn't she? The spirit of Chase U is still alive, just. Obviously, the same people that have been trying to recruit Andre Chase to restart Chase U recently would be out there tonight in his match with Eddie Thorpe. Eddie would pick up the win. I've seen a lot of social media saying, like, oh, you know, Chase U's dead. Why are they doing this again? It's like, well, okay, the stipulation was that Andre Chase couldn't team with Duke Hudson, Riley Osborne, or Thea Hale. Chase U can continue with new members. They've been teasing this now for a couple of weeks, and obviously with that teasing and with this tonight, I wonder if this is going to be like a major storyline now going forward. After the match with Eddie Thorpe's celebrations being cut short due to Trick Williams appearing on the screen, a very serious Trick after he lost the strap match at Vengeance Day, saying, "If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me." This is a side of Trick we haven't seen before. Eddie, I'd watch out, dude. Sol Ruka and Zarya were successful tonight in defeating the Meta Girls, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. I liked that they replayed the promo from last week and showed Zarya again on a skateboard wearing a helmet. Remember, Zarya is the last known survivor of the apocalypse. I say that though, but honestly, I really enjoyed this match and I really am starting to enjoy the tag team of Zarya and Sol. I think they're really good together. I think there's a good dynamic there, and I think WWE could hone this and could make this something special, especially, as we always say, we always need women's tag teams in WWE. Now, about midway through the show, we saw a lot of the locker room laid out in the back as NXT is getting attacked. And then we saw at the end of the show that new group walking away from a downed Robert Stone. Ava in shock, Robert Stone taken out. It certainly feels like this new group has a big victim list. We'll have to see if it grows again next week. But no answers tonight as to why, how, when, who. We know really who they are, but you know what I mean. We don't know the name, etc. of the group. That's still to come. Decent show this week. I am super hyped for next week with Moose in action. The Hardy Boyz making their WWE return, kinda. I'm going to look forward to that. For me this week, solid 7 out of 10. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you as always next time. Peace!